So I got 3 words for Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
The biggest movie of this year, Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
Not a comic book
Not a
movie.
Marvel movie.
No,
Not
but
a
that
Marvel
Johnny,
movie.
you know what?
I'll even
that adds
say
to his point a little bit though,
everywhere
because
all at once.
he talks about
The artist,
a movie
Tom
actor,
Cruise.
a movie star. Tom Cruise is a movie star. Like people will go see it because he's in it. You know, I get the point of what he's trying to say. Is like, and it, you know, like people are going to see Captain America, not Chris Evans. You know, like that kind of thing. But I don't know.
Although
I don't think he said anything. There's specific things I wouldn't agree with entirely.
I have no idea what that says.
Yeah,
Ask me what I think.
Oh, okay.
That's what-
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead,
Go
Seabass.
Okay.
I'll
Go right ahead,
Before
Seabass.
we all run off the train, I mean, as
Yeah,
far
the
as it
floor is
goes,
yours, my friend.
as far as it goes, I don't think that Captain America was the star because
Thank you,
if you
Amy.
gave it to anybody else, outside of Chris Evans, would that actor have been able to play Captain America? That's the thing you have to think about. Chris Evans played this character for multiple movies. Plus, also too, we're in a different way how acting and society is approaching actors. These actors are now getting longer term gigs versus like, okay, I acted for this gig, I gotta wait for the next movie. I acted for this gig. So a lot of them are now getting longer term contracts, which now is more money coming back into their pocket and guaranteed work for them.
Yeah, I think like go ahead.
So I was going to say that Marvel has been trying to change up the genre of superhero movies because you remember superhero movies back in the day, they were all campy. They're not campy anymore. I go, if Quentin Tarantino directed a superhero movie, we probably would get something closer to what we see with The Boys, which again, it's a different genre of superhero telling.
Yeah.
And as far as it goes, I don't agree with any of their statements. They're like, oh, Wolverine. I was like, Hugh Jackman got that role. I'm going to butcher the name. Thank you. Laugh at me, Val. I was looking at your face to specific you about everybody. So Hugh was Wolverine.
Oh my God, I write that down for Pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. But Hugh got the role, but he was not the original actor for that role that they wanted. And now look at that. He has gone on to do other things. Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man. He has gone to do other things. And it was a resurgence of his acting career because his career had taken a nosedive at the time. And agreed, Top Gun. We've had Ghostbusters, which is not a superhero movie. We've had a lot of movies.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of non-superhero
Sonic
movies.
movie. We had
Sonic was lit too.
I'm looking at a list of movies right now. We had Everything Everywhere, everything.
In our comments, look, Inglourious Bastards. When was that?
Then Glorious Bastards was years ago. That's a Tarantino movie.
I'm talking about this year,
Those
like
are comments.
Bullet Train. This year, what else do we have?
Well, Bullet Train, you could argue that people went to see it because Brad Pitt was in it, you know.
It had a great cast. It had a great cast.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Bullock was in that one too. But I think he has more of a problem with actual Hollywood and not really the Marvel thing. Like,
right.
He sounds like a guy. Like, I kind of get what he's saying. Like, it seems like the Marvel movies and superhero movies in general is what people are going to the theater
But
for.
that's the studio execs problem. Like someone had mentioned this, is that people right now are more conscious of how they're spending their money.
Right. It's sort of
Right.
like all the critically acclaimed stuff is now just on streaming as like a show, or you know, the only time you see like Oscar stuff is usually in December, and that's it. You know what I mean?
But that's
it's just.
Yeah, and then the other thing is streaming has changed, like the pandemic. Streaming has
definitely.
changed the landscape of it. Like going to a theater, when you go to a movie theater now, you want an experience. You're not going to go see an Oscar-worthy movie. You're not going to, unless you're going to like an independent film or something like that. But it's like, you know, you have a streaming now that's available. People are more conscious, and like even right now, we're going through like the recessions and everything. People again are spending a lot more money out of their pocket, so they're more conscious with what they're spending on. So it's like, and especially with movie theater tickets in some areas, it's like $30 a head to go into the movies.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, definitely. Like that has a lot to do with it. And I think, you know, like you said, people are more picky about what they're watching in the movies. And you know, if you're going to watch something, you want something with like effects, you want a scope to it. And, you know, like I agree.
I mean, just for that, I want James Cameron to break box office records with Avatar.
That's gonna. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
I think it will.
You
No.
think so? I don't
think it
feel
will.
any buzz about it though. Do you guys?
I mean, it really will depend on who you speak to, because
I
I
don't
see a lot
care
of people
about
who's
it.
very excited about it.
But Avatar
really?
broke.
Okay.
But Avatar broke that record, and people went because it was James Cameron.
Yeah,
Right.
James Cameron.
Well,
James
my
Cameron
biggest thing with it
makes
is
those
like
movies like
you
his
talk to
movies are
anybody
like,
that
he
watched
wrote
the
them.
original, they can't remember anything about any
Just
great
like-
moments.
just say
in it,
Fern Gully.
like, you know?
Just like
see,
Fern Gully.
It was Dances
Yeah.
with Wolves.
That's
What's
not
that?
accurate
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
I don't know. I just
for me,
my
anyway.
circle,
For my
you know?
circle, I should say.
I think because Avatar was also the resurgence of 3D cinema at the time, that also helped sell tickets. He doesn't have that reinforcing factor this time around. I heard that he had been working on AR glasses so that it was more of an immersive movie experience, but it wasn't ready in time for this sequel. And that he was
And
going
the
to do it
fact
for
that it's been so long, I think if you
Right.
did that 2 years later, I think you'd have a better shot at making big
Yeah.
Well, he
money.
waited.
It's gonna
He
do
waited for the
okay, but
technology.
I think it's only got about a week or two before it starts.
And also
dipping.
too, it's like it really depends. That weekend is probably that opening weekend is going to dictate if they're going to continue to make money every other weekend. And I was talking about it with my wife, Jess. He should have released this movie before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's
I
going to
agree.
be
had
harder to. It's not going to meet this. I don't think it'll meet the same numbers it did pre-pandemic. Obviously, I don't think
There's no way it
anything
will.
really meets those numbers
Nope.
today's
No.
world.
That was a unique situation, I think.
Right.
You know?
Spider-Man was a unique one because Spider-Man Far From Home was probably the first time that people really, really, really got to go to the theaters
Again.
to go see a movie. Yeah, because he really
The
broke box
Titanic
office numbers.
sequel.
Yep, waiting for the Titanic sequel. I am.
Yeah, that might have done better. I don't know. But any more
the old
thoughts
lady, she
on-
comes back from the dead looking for her necklace.
Oh, that'd be.
She's
I'll
out
watch
for
it.
Crazy.
She's out for revenge.
It's gonna be it's gonna be the new zombie flick. That's what it's gonna be. Titanic.
That'd be great, actually. That'd be a great way to go. Any other thoughts about the Tarantino statements? Did you guys ever watch?
I think he's a little bitter.
Yeah.
Only because number one, maybe he's not getting the financing he wants for his own movies.
Well,
And
no, I
two-
think he's such a fan of cinema. I think that's where his beef might be. And like these
But the
movies
thing
just
is,
aren't for
I
him.
feel like
you know?
people's fandom is based on perspective.
Yep.
So
I agree.
if you're not into it, you're not into it, but that doesn't mean it isn't good.
Right.
And I don't think he's
That's a
not
good
into
point.
it too, because there's a script out there he wrote for Heroes for Hire. He wanted to make a Luke Cage movie.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like if you Google, there's articles from.
Or
like,
is he gonna
10
do it
years
though,
ago.
like a black exploitation kind of movie? Or no?
I mean, I don't know.
Did
but-
Jackie Brown?
yeah, it's true. Jackie Brown's great.
So, but
so-
the other thing is that the sheer amount of Marvel movies in general, it's just like for every Top Gun, there's 3 Marvel movies. You know what I mean?
But
Like
I mean, if you look at
per volume.
this year we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 movies in total of Marvel. It's just the fan base that makes it seem so much more. And because we released the Disney Plus,
We only had 3.
you feel more of it. So it's not like it's outweighing everything else that's in there. It's just what's attracting to people.
Also-
And if you're mad that that's what brings in the money, I don't think that's a valid argument.
Also, so you get waves.
I think
of
it's
this
just a change of the way people consume movies now too. Like people don't go to the theater
Right.
all the
Look at
time
the
like
numbers
they
with
used to.
Netflix. The streaming services, I'm sure you would see more success there. HBO as well, with releasing some of their stuff
Yeah.
on streaming services.
The
It's
Adam
just a
Project
different
was
world.
amazing, and that was full Netflix.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I gotta
if
see
you-
that too.
If you also, if you really think about
can't-
the
You
stuff
can't blame that
happens
on
this-
superhero movies.
the stuff
Sorry.
happens in waves. Like, how many times are you gonna talk about the same gangster film with the same characters? How many times are you gonna see the same character in a rom-com? We had this with the action movie boom at one point, where again, like studios were copying that same action movie trope. Harry Potter had broken grounds because they did a whole story over 9 but it was like 9 movies that they created. And then Marvel was just that studio that came along and did something that no other studio did, and that what's happening right now is that a lot of studios really want to copy what Marvel did.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
That's
pressure also because we stay judging whether or not they can keep it up. This phase, that phase, oh, this wasn't
Yeah,
right. We're
Not easy.
talking so much crap about it, but we're still gonna watch it. I mean, is it gonna change the fact that we love it? No, because we can talk crap about it all day. We're still gonna go see it. And I think that it's a lot of pressure to maintain it. I don't think they're gonna keep up. There's no way to keep up the same hype like in the Infinity Saga, especially since they kill off all of their villains instead of letting them live. But there's but so much. It's gonna go but so far, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that it's not good. That's the thing. It's just what it is now.
I agree with you there, 100%.
Yeah. Anyone else? Final thoughts?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah. Let's hear your
Ooh.
perspective. I know you're a
Let's hear
fan
it.
of Tarantino.
Well, one, I think the hate in regards to Marvel was coming more from Tom Segura than from Quentin.
Yeah.
I think Tom felt like
He
he
was-
didn't
he
know
was
what the hell
hating.
he was talking about. I think there is some validity to Marvel recycling because people do talk about how Marvel has a certain way
Formula.
to do their movies and a certain formula, and so like you get your Act 1, your Act 2, CGI battle, Act 3. We can't deny that has happened multiple times throughout the MCU.
But it works.
That's the formula.
It's the formula and it works, but it's my gripe with Shang-Chi, even though I think Shang-Chi's one of the best Phase 4 movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. I think what Quentin is trying to say, and I think Quentin is different than some of these other directors because the man's only made 8 movies and they're all drastically different from each other versus like a Scorsese who's usually doing gangster flicks like
Or an Allen.
or
Yeah.
or something like that. I think
Yeah.
also Quentin is a cinemaphile. Like he's really into the history of cinema. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his love letter to old school
Yeah.
Hollywood. And when you talk
yeah.
about those movie stars, it was a
And
different
it's like
world
every
back then.
movie he does is like a specific
Yeah.
genre that he
It's
loves.
specific
or
genre
something.
piece, and like
Yeah.
it's honoring something, and like the movie stars of those times are like those people were just were like trendsetters.
Yeah.
Where sure, Chris Evans now is Chris Evans, but Chris Evans when he got hired for Captain America was Johnny. He was the Human Torch.
Right.
Robert Downey Jr. we're getting him for cheap because
Yeah,
he's
right. He
bringing-
was already an amazing.
he's bringing his
actor.
career
Yeah.
up. I didn't know who the hell Chris Hemsworth was before Thor. I mean, look, like there's a couple you look at the actors in Iron Man 1 and all the supporting actors were on the up where Robert Downey Jr. was coming from below. So
Yeah.
I think Marvel's doing the thing. I think some actors have become movie stars. Simu Liu, who did his TV show, was big, but I think after he becomes Shang-Chi, he's now a household name.
He's huge.
I think Elizabeth Olsen is a household name.
Chris
The
Pratt.
Chris Pratt, whatever you feel like, Parks and Rec to
I didn't know
Leading
him
man.
until
Yeah.
I didn't know him until
he was
Star-Lord.
the actor who
No,
who
What
played
was
Vision.
the teen show
He was
on
gonna
CW?
quit acting. He was gonna quit acting. He was gonna be done with acting, and then he got. So I think there's a mix of like you getting your movie stars out of MCU, but there's also a point. I'm not going to see Marvel movies because XYZ actor is playing them. I'm going them because I want to see my comic book movie. I'm going because I kind of know what's going to happen because I know what the
Right.
source material is, and I want to see how the MCU does it. Those are valid arguments. The actors
Right.
aren't. That's why every big Oscar-winning actor is now doing the MCU because they can just do it for fun. We're not seeing them to see them, So I think there's positive. There's definitely.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I think all the commentary that people are giving to Quentin Tarantino that he doesn't know what he's talking about, I think it's a lot of BS. He's making some observations.
Yeah,
And I think he has.
and I don't think he's necessarily wrong. But
Yeah,
it's like,
and he's gonna make his 9 movies, his 10 movies. He's gonna retire, and he's gonna be he's gonna be a generational director, and that's it. He's not making 50 movies. That's
Right.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think hearing it from him versus, mafia, the mafia director, and all these other things who are just spitting vile, where he's just making an observation. I think you're right to your point, Val. We're gonna go see what we want to see, but like director movies. I will see a Scorsese, I will see a Quentin movie in the theater because he does his movies in a way where it is an experience.
Yeah.
You know, either he's filming it on a certain kind of reel that's played in like one theater in the country. Like
Hateful Eight. Yeah.
He does his shit specific. There's an intermission.
Yeah, I love that.
He does so many different things to make you have a movie experience.
Right.
Marvel movie experience is like that's a collective movie experience. I'm never gonna experience anything like I did with Endgame unless Secret Wars tops it. Because that 2019 theater opening night of Endgame was incredible.
Yeah.
But when I watch the Quentin movies and I'm watching them with my wife and we see them like we experience that. You watch Django in that movie theater, you're like you feel it. Like you feel it. You watch Inglourious Bastards, you're like, yeah, fucking kill all those Nazis. You're like, this is awesome.
I still remember how I felt when I first saw Kill Bill. Like,
you know, like I didn't get to experience.
Dogs.
I didn't experience Hateful Eight the way he wanted to. With I had kids.
I did. I went.
I wanted to do it with
an hour
the
to
intermission.
see it in one of those.
There was a program like he.
Dude, I got two of them in my other room. I have the play like they were like a play like a playbill or something, you know.
Yeah, so I
but
think
that was great. It was really cool to see it in that format, you know. That was a great movie. Love that movie. Yeah, Johnny's got one. Johnny, who's on the back though? They put one of each on the back. Who is it? Is that
that's Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.